I say? I think we're live. What can I say? Happy New Year. I mean, at which point do we stop saying that? So I haven't seen you since... Hang on, we did New Year's Day. So for those that weren't on the live on New Year's Day, Wednesday, Happy New Year. Those that were on the live on Wednesday, New Year's Day, Happy New Year. Yeah, wrongin'. So we'll allow everyone to get their feet under the table. As I said on Wednesday, for those that were there, tonight is slightly different. It's going to be very interactive. Who's that? Let's. We'll get to your comments in a moment, as I always do. But tonight, because I'm feeling that when I said I was going to do a quiz and didn't do a quiz, there were lots of people in the chat going, "Oh, you've not done a quiz, man." So tonight we're going to play around with that. There won't be the usual stuff because I think that... Hang on, what have I done with it? There it's there. The usual stuff there's I mean, my head is so full. This last 2 weeks, there's been so much stuff going on that I just want to take an evening where we can breathe again and we can connect again and we can do a bit of a quiz again. So tonight there will be 100 questions. And this is how we're going to play it. For those that are kind of coming into the live, and we've just doubled the viewership in the few minutes that I've been talking. For your benefit. Now, you can cheat as much as you want. Andy Turner, 3. You can cheat as much as you want because the only person who's cheating is you. And I'm on strong antibiotics, so if I go a bit nuts tonight, blame the doctor. Seemingly, the only time that I'm going to cough is when I'm doing this, and that appears to be the way. So the cough is kind of going. I'm not coughing anywhere near as much. In fact, I've barely coughed all day today. But the minute that the adrenaline hits my lungs, boom, the coughing starts. So still got another few days with under the doctor. Yeah, exactly, Stuart. Cheaters never win. But tonight, I just want it to be... Look, we can talk about the usual stuff, you know, the Labour grifters and everything, while we have the quiz. Because unbeknownst to you, as well as being a radio talk show host, LBC, BBC, yada, 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 I've also done a few Quizmasters stuff in me time. So I have, thank you to the Scarlet Pimpernel, we have 100 questions. And they start easy. And I'm hoping that everybody that kind of... and there's only one rule in Fight Club. There's only one rule for this quiz tonight. You cannot, under any circumstances, unless I ask you, put any answers in the chat. You're wrong. So no answers whatsoever, because... and no Google. All right, 2 rules. No Google, no Googling it. But if you do, then you're only cheating yourself. I mean, I've looked at some of the questions and I'm like, would I have got that? And there's a few where, even with my intellectual capabilities, I would never have got them in a month of Sunday. So I just want sort of the Sunday before everybody, or those that do work, apart from slackers, those that do work are going back to work tomorrow. So it's a school night tonight. So I will... because I've been on it with all the news over the last few weeks, that, you know, I'm aware of all the kind of stuff. Read the papers today, so I might just interject with some stuff as we go along. But I am your quiz master for the next couple of hours. With 100 questions, I reckon, what's a minute for 100? It's an hour 40, so it might take us a couple of hours. So all the usual suspects will be getting in the pews. No matter quiz or sermon, you have to get into the pews early. Otherwise, you're standing at the back. And the bishop has been around this week. Oh, I'm not quite sure what he's on. Maybe far too much gin, to be fair. But he's been around. He wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone. He's come around and seen the nuns out the back. Why would you want to see the nuns at the back? Soul Rebel, I'll take a pee, Adrian. All right, we'll wait for you. Give you a couple of minutes. So it's just, let me explain this, because I didn't. I just kind of deviated again. Not at first. Hang on, Stuart says, I think he's found my Jaeger stash. Oh, Stuart, can you just add a drop or 10? That would definitely get me going. Mind you, it'd make me too hot, because I'm well wrapped up considering. Have you seen the snow? Have you seen the snow outside? It's dark now, so I can't show you, but bloody snow, man. See what I did there? So let me say hello to a few people. I have my notes. I have my writing implements. And so long as you've got pen and paper and you can answer the questions, but not put the answers in the chat. Do not put the answers in the chat. Otherwise, you'll have the moderator kicking you off. Andy Turner says, oh, sorry. Evening all. Sorry if I smell of fish. Being on the bank. Oh, I say, Andy Turner, you've never been out fishing in this weather. You must be mad. Blimey, obviously you haven't got any snow where you are, but it's A, bloody freezing, or it was, and B, brilliant. Who said that? Cuban Pete. Are souls fish? Stop making me laugh, man. It just makes me cough. Sandra Wytham. I was waiting for you, Sandra. I'm so pleased because I don't know whether, like the Premiership's just dull. But the Championship, there are 4 teams, the 3 former Premiership teams and Sunderland. And Sunderland are on 50 points. Burnley and Sandra's beloved Blades are on 52. And then Leeds sit at the top of the... Is he in tonight? Top of the league with 53. So, like, one win separates... Lionel Layton, don't interrupt me. Did you just say dogging bank? Not Dogger Bank. Yeah, Super Ted. I won't forget the Borough, but they're like 9 points behind us. And we're in 4th. But every time I see the results, Sandra, I do think about you. I think about you chortling going, got one over on Adrian. The Mackhams. But the fact that, you know, you've come down from the Premiership, there's every chance that I just don't think Sunderland have it. I mean, they played the bottom of the league today and won by 1-0. And Portsmouth had like 10 men for the second half and we couldn't score again. In fact, we couldn't score in a brothel with a 50 quid note. The way they were playing today. So I don't... they may make the playoffs. They're definitely not going to get automatic promotion. Unless... Because all the main teams are going, well, we've got loads of injuries. Yeah, they wanted Christmas and New Year off, the slackers. One of our players, a guy called Mepim, Chris Mepim, who's a fairly decent player, he's suddenly accruing yellow cards. They get the 5 yellow cards, and then you get banned for a game, don't you? It's like the totting up or something. I think him and one of our other defenders are trying to get as many yellow cards as possible because then they get a Saturday off. We can see through that. So, Sandra, I'm here and looking at League 3. Points separate the 4 clubs. It's going to be a tight run-in. Yeah, well, we like tight. But I think Soul Rebel's just... I'll get to him in a second. Stuart, evening, Rev, since it's cold tonight. My nipples could key cars if I walk past them. It's that cold outside. Did I say... I spoke that out loud. Evening, Rev, since it's cold tonight, I'll be adding Jaegers to my coffee and your hibiscus. Go on, Stuart. Half a dozen, please. It'll keep me going. Obviously, I better get them made before the bishop arrives. Don't want anyone hearing our shouting matches. I know. He thinks we're just, all clean living folk in the particular body of the kirk. Little does he know. And if he finds out, we're all done for. Brilliant. Andrew James says, here, Stuart, the bishop is the brother of a toolmaker. Fabulous. Stuart says to Andrew, that explains why we don't see eye to eye. Eye to eye? You're not an optometrist by any chance, are you? Hang on. Andrew says, have we got any playing cards? While we wait for the rev. I don't. Hang on. At Andy Turner. Andy Turner's deck, it only consists of 49 jokers. Yeah, wrong. But I do love a game of canasta. What time are we on? All right, okay. Andy Shinsky. Evening, Andy. Yeah, wrong. Blimey. What is going on with my gob tonight? Good evening, Adrian. Did you see the article I sent you, published in Nottingham Live, about... and a book is allegedly writing about the corruption in Nottingham Police and the Crown Court. Andy, there are videos coming. No, I didn't. Where did you send the article? Was it on X or was it email? joustingarena@gmail.com. Did you send? Please send it again, Andy, because I haven't seen it. But I will tell you, I was well aware of the journalist. I've seen, I know who the journalist is that's writing it. And, well, there's stuff going on in the background that I'm not going to bring here, but there are videos coming. Bless you. Evening, Leah. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Nuts and bolts. You need to watch the videos because I'm not going to give anything away. But I know more than people, stuff, and... the videos are coming tomorrow. Starmer giving Musk a telling off tomorrow from Soul Rebel. I'm trying to work this out because politics is quite a naughty, dirty, grubby game, and the fact that Musk, Starmer goes out to Mar-a-Lago, comes back, and Musk goes, "Yeah, we're going to give him 100 million." And then the weekend of the first Reform conference, I think it was in the East Midlands this weekend. Next weekend, it's in the Northwest. And Musk's come out and gone, Reform need to choose a new leader. Oh, who would that be then? Elon? Mate? Because he's thrown his hat in with somebody else. But somebody else isn't going to get the leadership of the party. I mean, I know that they've started talking to others. Look at little grubby Ben Habib. He wants to be God. He wants to be the leader. And what these people fail to recognise is that the voters are not necessarily voting for a party, because that's done and finished. What they're voting for is Nige. Yes, I agree. I see you. It all stinks to high heaven. So... that's going on, and Musk can't make his mind up. I don't know whether he's doing weed or not. I've seen him do weed on Joe Rogan, so he's not either averse or it's not a first. Nuts and Bolts says, Princess Anne should step forward and sort out Charlie and then have him dissolve party. I saw the list of... what the Royals did in 2024. And Anne is by a country mile the hardest working woman in showbiz. Charles the Weak. That's what he's known as in my house. Charles the Weak. Just get it sorted. But do you know something else? Des Ashton says, money is the root of all evil. Take it away. That's why it's called filthy lucre. Keith Mitchell says, I hear there's Toffs having a tiff over riffraff. Certainly, definitely, moderator. Okay, right. I think we've sort of said hello to enough people now. So there are two rules. No Google, no online research, and do not, whatever you do, put the answers in the chat. Otherwise, the moderator is under strict instructions to kick you off tonight, because we just want a bit of a giggle. And what you can do in the chat is just chat about anything, and I may pick it up. But there's 10 rounds, and they start easy and get more and more difficult until we get to the 100th question. If you can get anywhere near 80 or 90 out of 100, you are some machine. Because we've tried to make it so that some people will get it right. I think the Windsors is the most realistic depiction of the royal family. That's Codeine Boy. Oh, Codeine Boy. And all the first timers in the chat, please let me know that you're a first timer and I'll pop your cherry for you. Said the bishop to the actress. Oh, that's where he's been. So you may need to make notes. We will go round by round, and we won't tot them up until the end. So you'll need some papers and some scribblers to make sure that you can keep track of your numbers. 10 rounds, 10 questions, 100 questions. Codeine Boy, that's your third popped cherry, you dirty tart. You can have a fourth one if you want. But good to have you in the body of the cook. Now, be careful, because the lardy arses are probably taking up the pews. There is Christmas Battenberg still left at the front near the baptismal font. But if you want some clean water, then there's jugs of it at the front, just in case, you're a bit hungover and you need rehydrating. So after the 2 weeks of doing absolutely bugger all, drinking and eating, we've put some cold water out so that people can stay hydrated. And obviously the altar wine is not in the baptismal font chilling. It's there so that you can, with all due reverence. Oh, who's that? Hang on. Stuart, you tart. Hi, Adrian. First timer. Tease. Tom Harney's You Spin Me Right Round Like a Record, Baby, right round. I do have that on White Label 12-inch somewhere. He's dead now, though, isn't he? The lead singer of You Spin Me Right Round, Right Round. Do you know, this is the quizmaster who can't remember Dead or Alive. Andy Sinsky, can I copy someone's answers, please? You're wrong, Andy. We'll stop you from getting Battenberg and altar wine. You'll be on water, and not even baptismal water. It'll be straight out of the cold tap at the back of the church. Pete Burns, thank you, Johnny Ray. Alan Little, Burn. James Bond. No, I know. I was thinking of the band, not the lead singer. I was just trying to remember the band. Not Pete Burns. I mean, did you see the lips on him and the plastic surgery he had? I was named after a Bob Dylan song, Karina Jane. Were you? What was the song? Karina? Karina? Interesting, Karina Jane. I was named after Sir Adrian Boult, according to my mother. My dad was out in the Indian Ocean as a merchant seaman. He's out in the Indian Ocean. Mum, off I was, born. And she went and registered the name. Me dad nearly jumped ship. There's no bloody son of mine going to be called Adrian. Oh dear. I won't tell you the reason why, because it definitely isn't proper, and it's not woke, that's for sure. But my mum went and registered the birth. Yeah, he's called Adrian. Nicky Watson, welcome to the body of the Kirk. So this evening, for those that just want a bit of easiness to the end of the Christmas and New Year holidays, we're going to have a bit of fun tonight. We've got a 100-question quiz, and they get harder as we go along, said a spokesperson. It's that bishop again with a bloody around the cucumber patch with the nuns. Cuban Pete used to stick himself to it. I thought you'd be called Seaman if your dad was always at sea. Ballymurray. No, there's no seaman in my family. I think it was the house bricks that my mother took to him afterwards. I was named after Sir Adrian Boult. Bugger me. Napoleon Bonaparte. Do I need paper? And do I need a pen? Jeez. That's what your right hand was made for, Napoleon Bonaparte. You're wrong. Hang on, what's the moderator saying? Moderator, how are they going to know which questions they got right and which ones they got wrong? There has to be some competition, surely. Can hear crackling 8. Sorry, fan pork scratchings in my ear. Sorry, Ray Norton. Right, quick question before we start. Are you getting crackling? As in pork? Are you getting any crackling from the sound from this? Because I haven't checked whether they... I haven't checked whether the Bluetooth is on my phone or not. So just tell me if you can... no, says Napoleon Blown Apart. Keith Mitchell. No, Gary Cox. Gary, first time, huh? It's just I'm in a mood to pop cherries tonight. No, sound is fine here. Sir Stuart, Andrew James, can we do Krypton Factor next week and do a flight sim? Oh, can you imagine? So the purpose of me doing this quiz is just to see if there's an appetite and an audience, and we will, as we go along, make it more professional. I do have the hardware to be able to play music and do stuff, and with the team in the background, Scarlett Pimpernel, it will be perfect for me to add stuff to my hardware to, I don't know, a bit like, I've got all the jingles for, can you remember Radio 1's Bits and Pieces? Yeah, I've got all them. So we could do bits and pieces. We could do a couple of rounds. But we're starting where we start. We're keeping it really simple. 100 questions. Napoleon Blown Apart. Pop mine. Yeah, wrong un. There you go, Napoleon Blown Apart. It's definitely blown you apart. Keith Mitchell, is it like Brain of Britain? Are you sure we actually got any brains for tonight? Cuban Pete, sack. Oops. That was the hairy cornflake, wasn't it? I thought it was quack, oops. Or was it sack, oops? In the field... Hayden, you're taking your time, you're wrong. Right, DLT. Thank you, Chris Mundy. Newkie Brown, Pink Les Paul and fireworks from Headstock. I say, Newkie Brown. So, if you are ready, you might need a pen and a paper, but you might be able to retain things in that chromium of yours. Cuban Peter's predictive text. I know nothing. I come from. I know nothing. I come from Barcelona. Did I tell you I went out for Faulty Towers meal where they had basil and I know nothing. Dave Clark 5 behave and it was just fantastic. They made the meal like 70s food, but it wasn't. It should have been steak and Black Forest Gatto or a prawn cocktail to start. That was very 70s and 80s. Manuel and it was wonderful. It was funny as. And it's very interesting that because it's of a certain time in the 70s, there was the audience was very white. Not that I'm suggesting by any stretch of the imagination that should be a thing. But in the 70s, it had a particular audience. And that audience is still around nowadays. Prunella Scales, Keith Mitchell. Wow. She's not very well at the moment, is she? Her hubby's died. And she's not very well. Hang on, did they? We've done it a couple of years ago in Newcastle, Adrian. Brilliant, Super Ted. For me, it's brilliant. Brilliant. Maybe they tour it around the country, but it was in a hotel. The hotel was kind of okay. It was one of those faceless hotel, big dining rooms, and I have to say that Manuel and Basil, funny. Chris Mundy, you tart. Has the quiz started yet? No. Right. If you want it, I'll give it you. If you know who that is. Right. Question 1 of 100. No cheating in the comments, no answers in the comments, and no Googling. Which band released Hotel California in 1976? Which band released Hotel California in 1976? It's just to get you started. I'm just going to get you... What did I say? James Bond. No answers in the chat. Moderator, I've got to make a... Please, because if you put the answers in the chat, it means that everybody's going to get 100. That's not what we're about tonight. We're just having a body of the Kirk quiz. So we're good Christian folk. 69. Yeah, Keith, it might take a while. So if you Newkie Brown says, I feel sorry for the mod. Look, if you want to go away and then watch it again tomorrow, because it'll be me interacting with you. Yeah, wrong. So question one, which band released Hotel California in 1976? Write your answer down, because when we get to 10, I'll give you all the answers. Question two, what is the name of the lead character in the TV series Knight Rider? Question two, what is the name of the lead character in the TV series Knight Rider? Question three, which 1970s... Des, have you been on the cooking sherry? Question three, which 1970s musical movie starred John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John? That's question three. Which 1970s musical movie starred John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John? Question four. Which song by Gloria Gaynor is an anthem for survival and resilience? Question four. Which song by Gloria Gaynor is an anthem for survival and resilience? Stuart, that Jaeger is fabulous. Hang on, what's Ray done? And question five. In Star Wars A New Hope, who played Princess Leia? You definitely know that. Question five. In Star Wars A New Hope, who played Princess Leia? Question six. Which British band released Bohemian Rhapsody? And no, it wasn't the Sex Pistols. Which British band released Bohemian Rhapsody? Thank you, Stuart. I think I need extra tonight with this audience. The poor mod, he definitely needs a full bottle. Question seven. I'm kind of giving you a few seconds, because if you don't know it, you don't know it. If you do know it, you do know it. That's why we're making them easier. What is it that's a first in... if you take a degree at university, is it 80%? 85%? I believe that I've got the most intelligent viewers on my channel, bar none. So you're going to have to make sure that you are true to my word, let alone your own. Got two so far. Oh, Bovril. No, when I give you the answer, you'll be like, ugh. Question seven. We're going to do 10 to start, and then we'll give you some answers. Question seven. What TV show featured an ensemble cast and centered on a Boston bar? What TV show featured an ensemble cast and centered on a Boston bar? Lionel sleeps no more. He's -10 at the minute. We are. I mean, honestly, when I give you the answers, you'd be like, oh, God, I know that. Cuban Pete, chin chin. I've got hibiscus tea with a little extra from Stuart. I better rephrase that. Jaeger bombs from Stuart. Which 1984 film popularized the phrase, who are you going to call? Question 8. Which 1984 film popularized the phrase, who are you going to call? Question 9. Who sang Billie Jean in 1983? Is that really 40 odd years old? Jesus. Who sang Billie Jean? Not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. Who sang Billie Jean in 1983? No, I'm not giving you any clues. It was produced by Quincy Jones, by the way. Final question in this round. 10 questions, 10 rounds. What is the name of the... see, I wouldn't have got this. I don't think this one's easy, but what is the name of the robot in the Terminator film? What is the name of the robot in the Terminator? So, we stop after every 10, and then I give you the answers. So, what you can do is you can say, 9 out of 10 for me, says Super Ted. Starmer, says Ray Norton. Napoleon Blown Apart wants to phone a friend. Blimey, that'll cost you from America, Napoleon Blown Apart. What did Sandra just say? Or was it Vix Tex? For you, Bovril, I got 3. More than I got. So, first 10 questions. Question 1. Which band released Hotel California in 1976? The answer was the Eagles. Not the Pigeons, the Eagles. Keith Mitchell, 7 to 10. I got 7. That's brilliant. So if you can anywhere near 70 or thereabouts, is it 2-1? That's quite acceptable. So question 1, which band released Hotel California in 1976? Answer, the Eagles. Johnny Ray's got 10 out of 10, the tart. Question 2, what is the name of the lead character in the TV series Knight Rider? His name was Michael. Was it Michael Knight? Michael. Lieutenant Pigeon. Mouldy old dough, Cuban Pete. Question 3. Which 70s musical movie starred John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John? Grease is the word. Question 4. Which song by Gloria Gaynor is an anthem for survival and resilience? I guarantee you, if you couldn't remember, when I say it, you'll go, oh, man, I knew that. Number 1 as well. Remember the video? It was some woman on roller skates. Go figure. Which song by Gloria Gaynor is an anthem for survival and resilience? I Will Survive. Question 5. In Star Wars A New Hope, who played Princess Leia? Of course, it was Carrie Fisher. See, that was a difficult one. So, the Bovril might not like Star Wars. If you don't like Star Wars, you don't really know. But in Star Wars A New Hope, who played Princess Leia? Carrie Fisher. Question 6. Which British band released Bohemian Rhapsody? Of course, King. Oh, sorry, Queen. I'm teasing you. So, Queen released Bohemian Rhapsody. Question 7. I think it was quite easy, but that's because I've got square eyes from watching telly. I forgot Carrie Fisher. Oh, Keith Mitchell, man. But what I am trying to do with this, before I give you the answer to question 7, I just want people to get some right, some wrong. Because if you're getting stuff right, you'll be engaged by the quiz. What TV show featured an ensemble cast and centered on a Boston bar? Cheers! Cheers. Wiki videos, don't put the answers in the bloody chat, man. One rule of Fight Club, we don't talk about Fight Club. Question 8. Which 1984 film popularised the phrase, "Oh, you're gonna call Ghostbusters"? Terry Wockford. Which 1984 film popularised the phrase, "Oh, you're gonna call Ghostbusters"? And question 9. Who sang Billie Jean? Not my lover. She claims she's just a girl that claims that I am the one, off the top of my head. Who sang Billie Jean in 1983? 42 years ago. Michael Jackson. Most prolific paedophile in showbiz history. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? Question 10. What is the name of the robot in the Terminator? I definitely wouldn't have got this. T-800. Lioness Sleeps No More. Lioness Sleeps No More. There's more coming. We're trying to make them easy. The first 20 questions are the easiest ones. So, how are you doing? How many did you get? Keith Mitchell, and I failed on last one, number 10. T800 Bad Wolf Project. Philippa Fraser. Whoa! And the Wookfit's got 10. Tart. But you see, I'm not holding, I don't think, well, I know how intelligent the audience is, but I am a skeptical old tart. So if you got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, well done. At least getting 1 right. And I'm not really giving you that much time because these are the easy questions. So Andrew James got 8, exactly that. 11, yeah, right. Did you have 1 hidden under the table, so to speak? Stuart, really enjoying this. Keith Mitchell, well done, those T800 fans. I know, I wouldn't have got it. It was, I nearly swore there. It was Arnie. Who was the robot in the Terminator? Arnold Schwarzenegger. Brilliant, Bad Wolf Project, well done. Right, so now that you kind of get a fix on this, shall we eyes down for round 2? Questions 11 to 20. Question 11. What band, you know I love me music, what band released the 1991 hit, blimey, is that 30 odd years ago? Which band released the 1991 hit Smells Like Teen Spirit? Question 12. What animated sitcom premiered in 1989? That is scary, 36 years ago, featuring the Simpson family. What animated sitcom premiered in 1989 featuring the Simpsons family? And you know, within the Simpsons, they've predicted so many different things. I mean, to the point where, what was it? Donald Trump, before he was elected president, they had him coming down the escalator with the missus on the escalator. And like, there's this real life Donald Trump coming down the escalator with his missus, and you just think, hang on a second, how did they know that 20 years ago? Question 13. What film won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1994 and featured the quote, "Life is like a box of chocolates"? What film won the, and I would have got this wrong, completely wrong. What film won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1994 and featured the quote, "Life is like a box of chocolates"? Question 14, another musical one. Who sang Let's Dance in 1983? Who sang Let's Dance in 1983? 15. Which science fiction TV series starred Leonard Nimoy as Spock? Live Long and Prosper. Which sci-fi TV series starred Leonard Nimoy as Spock? And I can't do the bloody thing because my hands are old now, not as flexible. But you know the kind of the thing, the sign, "Live Long and Prosper," that Leonard Nimoy came up with as Spock. He got that from his rabbi, and when the First Lady of the Kirk and I went to was it Budapest, on the gravestones, they had this, and it's a sign of reverence. I didn't know that. The rabbi did, because I said to the First Lady of the Kirk, "Are they all Star Trek fans?" Didn't have tellies back in those days, Adrian. Question 16. Which group performed Staying Alive? Staying Alive. Staying Alive. That's why I became a radio presenter. Can't sing, couldn't join a band. Which group performed Staying Alive? Question 16. Question 17. Which movie features the line, "May the Force be with you"? Not "May the 4th. May the Force be with you." It's got to be an easy one, surely. Exactly that. Sticky fingers. Tom Harney's, is that a kosher fact? Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Leonard Nimoy went to his rabbi. and said, "Can I use that?" And the rabbi was like, "You do know what it means, don't you?" It's like, "Yeah, blessings." Question 18. Who starred as Marty McFly in Back to the Future? Slightly more difficult. Who starred as Marty McFly in Back to the Future? Ooh. Question 19. I wouldn't have got this right. Question 19. What Madonna album features the song Like a Prayer? Can you remember? Oh, it all kicked off with the Catholic Church. What Madonna album features the song Like a Prayer? And this round, final question, question 20. Which superhero movie featured Jack Nicholson as the Joker? So Mad Matt UK has landed after the first 20 questions. Mad Matt UK, welcome into the body of the Kirk. We're having a quiz tonight. We're having the Kirk quiz because basically everybody's knackered after Christmas and New Year. So rather than kind of go on and get into the deep stuff, and everybody's going back to work tomorrow. Well, some are going back to work tomorrow. So it's a school night. So we're taking it easy just for this once, just to ease you into 2025. So question 20. Which superhero movie featured Jack Nicholson as the Joker? So those 10 questions, do you want the answers? Or do you need any more time? Yeah, Chris Mundy, he's gone. Thank you, Mad Matt UK. Jackie Glasgow. Okay, Mod, I'm being good though. Brilliant. Flat Wallet. The Madonna question. Okay. This is question 19. What Madonna album, or which Madonna album, features the song Like a Prayer? Do you want me to repeat any more? Stuart says he's got 8 out of 10. Whoa, you tart. Keith Mitchell. I see a pattern forming. 7 out of 10 again. Right, I'll give you the answers. Questions 11 to 20. What band released the 1991 hit Smells Like Teen Spirit? Nirvana. Seemingly, Teen Spirit was a deodorant that he used, or somebody used. So he wrote about a deodorant. Question 12. What animated sitcom premiered in 1989 featuring the Simpson family? Ah, it was easy. The Simpsons. Question 13. What film won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1994 and featured the quote, "Life is like a box of chocolates"? Obviously, it was Forrest Gump. Does Madonna's greatest hits count? Oh, Napoleon Blown Apart. Because that means that if I ask which album or any of them, oh, go on, it's Christmas. Goodwill to all men, including Napoleon Blown Apart. So if anybody for the Madonna question says Madonna's greatest hits, you tart, I'll allow you 1 point. No, half a point, according to Terry Wookfit. Just for the giggles. Simpsons first appeared... hang on. Simpsons first appeared on the Tracy Ullman Show. Yes, they did. But which animated sitcom? Not the guest appearance. The sitcom that premiered in 89. Where was I? Simpsons, Forrest Gump. Who sang Let's Dance in 1983? David Bowie. Black Star. Have you seen the letter from David Bowie that is doing the rounds on social media, where he just sets out defeating death? I mean, it's inspirational. It's been gone a few years now, but Bowie, what an artist. What a clever man. Question 14, who sang Let's Dance in 1983? David Bowie. 15, which sci-fi TV series starred Leonard Nimoy as Spock? How here, man? Star Trek. Boldly go where no man has been before. I'm desperately trying to clean up a gag that I've got in my head, so I'm not... Which sci-fi TV series starred Leonard Nimoy as Spock, where no man has gone before? Taylor Swift. Answer, Star Trek. That's my answer. 16, which group performs Staying Alive from the soundtrack and Saturday Night Fever? Bee Gees. Bee Gees, one of my favourite films. Night Fever. Of the time. It's a bit hackneyed now, but remember staying in the cinema. You could go in the cinema like in the afternoon and then watch a film. And I'm not quite sure they came in to clean the cinema again, because me and my 3 mates stayed in the cinema, paid once, watched it twice. Loved it. Which movie features the line, "May the Force be with you"? Yeah, Star Wars. We love a Star Wars question. And this is question 18, who starred as Marty McFly in Back to the Future? Michael J. Fox, who's still kicking around, thankfully. It's good to see him on some of the telly things. Which Madonna album features the song Like a Prayer? For 1 point, Like a Prayer. For half a point, Madonna's Greatest Hits. Yeah, utter wrong 'un. But, Terry Wookfit being the arbiter of everything intelligent, half a point for the Greatest Hits. And the final question this round, question 20, which superhero movie featured Jack Nicholson as the Joker? Not the TV series, which I prefer to the films. Batman! One Yankee says, twitching around. Who's twitching? So let's have a look at your scores so far. Johnny Ray's got 9 out of 10. The old Bovril is consistent with 3. Nicky Watson only got 5 that time. Nicky, but you're playing on your own. It's not like we've got a full pub quiz team on every table, and we're not charging because it's a freebie. Obviously, hang on, 10 out of 10 in the field, downhill from here. Terry Wookfit, 15 out of 10. That'll be about right. Shall we have another round? Mine's a pint. So they're going to get increasingly. So the questions 21 to 50 are going to be slightly more testing. Now, I definitely would not have got this, and I've got a pretty good musical knowledge. But the quiz master, the Scarlet Pimpernel that set these questions, is a very intelligent bloke. So, next round. I can see this turning into a DLT moment soon. What? Me walking out going, I've had enough. Bugger this. I've had enough. Yeah, maybe. I did that on Century 106. I walked out. Hang on. I need to make another Jaeger bomb. Is that Stuart? He's making another Jaeger coffee. Karen Boo, downhill from here on in. I think that's the consensus. But we will throw some easier ones in for you. But they get the last 20 questions. They sort the clever ones from the also rans. That would have been me. I've never won a quiz in my life. So, question 21 to 30. Eyes down, 2 fat ladies. Question 21. Which band released Dream On in the 70s? Oh, Andy Turner says, no, they gotcha. I need new brain, says the old Bovril. The old Bovril, the brain that you have is doing very, very well. Because any right question, any right answers, rather, is fabulous. And you are getting right answers without... What do you mean, sing it? Who said that? Nicky Watson, you're wrong. Andy Turner, Sparks, wrong. You're not getting any points for that. Which band released Dream On in the 1970s? And even when I tell you the answer, you'll go, Hardaway and Shite, man. Question 22. Who played Fonzie on Happy Days? Hey. Who played Fonzie on Happy Days? I mean, at one time, he was the most famous man on planet Earth. The Fonz. Who played Fonzie in Happy Days? Question 23. Are you ready? What is the title of the 1985 adventure film starring Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner? Poor Andy Turner, far too young to know any of these. I'll do some 80s ones for you in just a little while, Andy. So what is the title of the 1985 adventure film starring Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner? And just because I'm a fair quiz master, if there's any questions that you've missed, then once I finish the round, just give me the numbers or the questions and I'll repeat them for you. So question 23, what is the title of the 1985 adventure film starring Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner? Question 24, who sang I Want to Dance with Somebody? 1987. She obviously sang a little better than I've just done. Sounds like somebody's got me sphericals in a vice. Who sang I Want to Dance with Somebody in 1987? I'll give you a few seconds while I have a slurp of me Jaeger bomb hibiscus. Keith Mitchell, we know your weak points now. It's the did you not get the film? I've done another question after that, man. Who sang I Want to Dance with Somebody in 1987? God, I remember playing that on the radio back in 1987. How old am I? Far too old. Question 25. Which TV series featured a group of Miami-based detectives, including Don Johnson? Isn't it Don Johnson's daughter that's doing all the 50 Shades malarkey? Wasn't it her? Not that I know, I've just been told by a friend, obviously. Which TV series, question 25, featured a group of Miami-based detectives, including Don Johnson? And 26, which 1982 film was Steven Spielberg's tale of a boy and his alien friend? Question 26. Which 1982 film was Steven Spielberg's tale of a boy and his alien friend? Jackie Glasgow thinks she's got 4 so far. Well done. It's only 26. Well, 4 out of the 26 or 4 out of this round, Jackie. 27. Oh, this is a tough one. What is the name of the first album by Guns N' Roses? So all the rocker fans will kind of get this. What is the name of the first album by Guns N' Roses? Here's another slightly tougher one for you. Question 28. What character did Robin Williams voice in Aladdin? Isn't that what Hugh Edwards does every time he wants his house cleaning? He gets Aladdin. I'll give you a second or so. Oh, Lioness Sleeps No More. I got this one. Andy Turner, I got the next question right, of course. So question 28, 29. Which song by Cyndi Lauper says, girls just wanna have fun? Question 29. Which song by Cyndi Lauper says, girls just wanna have fun? Final question this round, up to question 30. Who directed the 1994 film Pulp Fiction? Who directed the 1994 film Pulp Fiction? Right, is there any questions you want reading again? Ray Norton. Hugh Edwards gets the under 8 out after dinner. How he never went to jail, I'll never know. One Yankee says, I think you might be a first timer. Not sure, One Yankee says, but being a man of decorum and manners, I'll still pop your cherry. P.T. Ham says, question 29. Question 29 was, which song by Cyndi Lauper says girls just want to have fun? Any more? He pleaded mental health issues. I'm sure he did. Question 31, please. Stop it, Des. I haven't got there yet. Are you sure? 20? Is that 21, Des? Question 21 was, which band released Dream On in the 1970s? Question 26. No, just a character name. Which 1982 film was Steven Spielberg's Tale of a Boy and His Alien Friend? Question 26. 23. What was the title of the 1985 adventure film starring Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner? That's one of those where you go, oh. So, we've done the questions. So, question 21. Which band released Dream On in the 1970s? If you got this, you are more clever than I'm giving you credit for. Aerosmith. Just don't talk about that bloody awful ballad that they did with what's his face going into space. So if you got 21, well done, Aerosmith. Orkidia says, so it wasn't the Bay City Rollers then. Question 22. Who played Fonzie in Happy Days? Of course, Henry Winkler. Hey. Question 23. What is the title of the 1985 adventure film starring Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner? The answer, Romancing the Stone. Some people think it's, Stuart says it's going better than he thought. 23, Romancing the Stone, Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. He was a sex addict at that point, seemingly. 24, who sang I Want to Dance with Somebody in 1987? Hang on. Terry Wookfit says, no, it's not. It's Jewel in the Crown. Did they do 2 films in that year then? Tracy the Celibate Sinner. Which answer was Alvin Stardust? You're wrong. Jewel in the Nile follow-up, I remember. If that is Terry Wookfit getting something wrong, I will laugh my cap off, because Terry's not normally wrong, ever. So, Romancing the Stone, question 23 is the answer. Question 24. And no, you're not getting any extra points, Terry Wookfit, for naming the follow-up. 24, I Want to Dance with Somebody. It was Whitney Houston. Des Ashton says, oh, Des Ashton's a tough audience. Questionnaire is correct. 25, which TV series featured a group of Miami-based detectives, including Don Johnson? Roll your jacket sleeves up if you got the answer. Miami Vice. Oh, who said that? Exactly that. Jewel up my 9. It's not the Khyber Pass, is it? Khyber Diamond. 26. Which 1982 film? Oh, come on, this is so easy. It was Steven Spielberg's Tale of a Boy and His Alien Friend. The big question is, we are lagging a bit. I'm not quite sure. We're nearly an hour in. 1982, Steven Spielberg. E.T. Phone Home. E.T. I got caught by my sister crying after that because I was so upset. 27. What's the name of the first album by Guns N' Roses? Oh, come on. Appetite for Destruction. What, E.T.? Oh, yeah, the orchestra was fabulous. As was that album, Appetite for Destruction. Oy, 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 oy. 27. What's the name of the first album by Guns N' Roses? Only the rockers really would have got that. Exactly that. That will be my Battenberg. Bless you. Appetite for Destruction. Question 28. Which character did Robin Williams voice in Hugh Edwards' favourite film? Aladdin. Answer, Genie. Robin Williams is definitely missed. But went to a few Diddy parties, so I'm told. That's interesting. 29. Which song by Cyndi Lauper says, girls just want to have fun? How easy did I make it for you? Girls just want to have fun is the answer to the song. Brilliant, Keith Mitchell. Countdown to destruction. Nano, says Johnny Ray. And question 30. Who directed the 1994 film Pulp Fiction? Quentin Tarantino. So, how many did you get that time? Let's have the scores on the doors. Reuniting with co-stars Kathleen Turner and Danny DeVito. That's obviously over his head. Danny DeVito. He's possibly taller than Rich Boy Sunak. Ray Norton. P. Diddy thought Boys to Man was a delivery service. Brilliant. Oh, you're not doing so bad. Karen got 8. Martin G. Quentin Crisp. No. Wrong Pulp. Or wrong Aladdin. Definitely. Louise Hampson's got 8. Keith Mitchell 7. Oh, that's a good round for you. And they're supposed to be harder than the initial 20. So thank you for all of that. Are you ready? Eyes down for the next round. So this is round 4. Another 10 questions. I'm going to make some easy ones for you. Question 31. Who starred in Rocky as the titular character? Hayden says it has to be hard to be good. It could go. We definitely could go off the tracks with that. Hayden, you're a bad man. Have some more Battenberg. Who starred in Rocky as the titular character? Adrian. Question 32. Which rock band released the 1990s album Nevermind? Question 32. What rock band released the 1990s album Nevermind? Question 33. Ooh, no, I definitely wouldn't have got this. Which 1980s sitcom featured a wise-cracking alien named Alf? Which 1980s sitcom, trick question, featured a wise-cracking alien named Alf? Oh, we've got... when I give you the answer, I'll give you the gag. What hit single made Whitney Houston famous in the 1992 from The Bodyguard? I'll say that again, just in case I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. What hit single made Whitney Houston famous in 1992 from The Bodyguard? .35. Question 35. Nil point so far, says Jack. Keep going, Jackie. Which 1985 film featured the character John Bender and is set in a high school detention? You're talking about the lead, one of the lead characters called a Bender. No, I wouldn't have got this either. So I think Jackie Glasgow might Dolly Parton. Is it Buffering? I'll give it a second or two. No, it looks okay. Which 1985 film featured the character John Bender and is set in a high school detention? I'll give you a second or two. Exactly that. Close up with me, Battenberg. Please don't. We might all get sent out of the Kirk. Which artist sang Material Girl? Question 36. Which artist sang Material Girl? Cyril Smith. 37. Who directed Schindler's List in 1993? Every time I get into a lift in any kind of building, you know that Schindler's is a manufacturer of lifts. I always look at the name. It says Schindler, and I think, oh, this must be Schindler's Lift then. Who directed Schindler's List in 1993? That's question 37. Oh, tough one. Question 38. Angela Rayner, So rebel. What is the name of the spaceship in Alien? There's a film of its time. Oh, Keith Mitchell's struggling. Question 38. What is the name of the spaceship in Alien? 39. They're getting harder. Which grunge band released Black Hole Sun? That'll be Rachel from McCanston and her Black Hole. She needs more Battenberg, I think. Question 40. Who starred in Titanic as Jack Dawson? Question 40. Who starred in Titanic as Jack Dawson? One Yankee says Otis here. Stuart says great film. In the Field. Cool video. Yeah. Right. How do you think you've done this round? We're into, that was round 3. No. Yeah. That was round 3. 31 to 40. I thought Ian Holm died a few years ago from Alien. Can you remember watching Alien when was it the alien came out of John Hurt's chest? Oi, 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 oi. I mean, I know it was special effects and stuff, but like a film of its time, everybody went. And in the auditorium, in the film theatre, everybody went. Actually, what is that? So, question 31. Who starred in Rocky Adrian as the titular character? Sylvester Stallone. It's quite an easy one to get you warmed up. Which rock band released the 1990s album Nevermind? Nirvana. Which 1980s sitcom featured a wisecracking alien named Alf? Bit of a trick question, because it was Alf. That's the answer. It's named after the wisecracking alien. That's question 33. Question 34. Which single made Whitney Houston famous in the 1992 film The Bodyguard? I Will Always Hugh. Brilliant. Martin G. Worst case of heartburn ever on Alien. So I mean, it was a massive Dolly Parton. No, Adrian, you can't tell that one. Sorry, I've got gags running through my head while I'm doing the questions. Some of them I definitely can't tell. So Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love Hugh. Hang on. Alf, alien life form, a bit like my, I say, Tracy the Celibate Sinner. Where was I? Yeah, question 35. Which 1985 film featured the character John Bender and is set in a high school detention? Did you get The Breakfast Club? That's the answer I'm looking for. 35, The Breakfast Club. I would definitely have not got that. Question 36. Which artist sang Material Girl? Madonna. And who directed Schindler's List in 93? Steven Spielberg. 3 tough questions. 38. What is the name of the spaceship in Alien? The answer is Nostromo. Nostromo. Question 39. Which grunge band released Black Hole Sun? Soundgarden. I haven't heard from Soundgarden in years. And the final question this round, round 3. Who starred in Titanic as Jack Dawson? Oh, it was Leonardo DiCaprio, who was spotted on a boat with, the Doom Goblin. You've ruined my childhood. Well, I think young Leonardo has obviously ruined your 20s. So how many did you get that round? How are you doing? O'Rourke put down Savage Garden. Yeah, the Australian. Was it Soundgarden American? Wow. Getting 5 or 6 per round is actually fantastic numbers. Tina Barwick, 4 out of 10. Well done, Tina. Lauren Taylor, 5. Obviously, Tom Harney's not using Google and getting 10 every round. Let's have a look. The old Bovril just keeps pounding on. Sandra Wytham, 29 total. That'll be Sheffield United's points total for the season then. Bants. So we'll go to Ray Norton, Leonardo in Diddy's Club. I know, pictured in Diddy's Club. Oh dear, when that comes out. But Hollywood is peddling furiously to make sure that they don't get identified and they don't get named. Poor Diddy in jail, wanted to come out for Christmas. Whatever happened to J-Lo? Whitney Houston was already famous well before The Bodyguard in 92. Terry, I get that. But it made her even more famous. And I was actually at her first gig in Stringfellows Hippodrome back in, God, it must have been the 80s. 40 odd years ago. 85, 86. She came out in tight jeans and a singlet vest at the Disco Mix Club DJ conference. I was there. Give me 30 seconds to calm down. Right, are you ready? Whitney had a great voice, but it was kind of at the end, she was doing so much gear that it just ruined her voice. And she did a tour. A very close friend of mine, Bex, she went to the tour and came away saying she can't sing. And I remember reading a book called Nowhere to Run about kind of soul music back in the 60s and 70s, and it's got James Brown on the front. And the author went to speak with Cissy Houston, her mum, and heard Whitney just padding about wherever Cissy was living, and said, Cissy is one of the greatest soul voices, but she has a 12-year-old daughter that's insanely talented. And I've written this book thinking, ooh. And then the next thing I see, Whitney, that talented, precocious 12-year-old, was singing at the Hippodrome in London in front of all these DJs. So, eyes down. Last night I was... I'm just checking my screen, waiting for the buffering to finish. Thank you. I've come off the Wi-Fi. I don't know what it is on a Sunday night. Well, I do, and I'll sort that out later. We thought we had the answer. So, round 5. Round 5, 51 to 60. They're kind of medium hard. 51. Which band released The Wall in 1979? Which band released The Wall in 1979? Question 52. What character did George Clooney play in the TV series ER? Question 52. Which character did George Clooney play in the TV series ER? Question 53. Which 1980s fantasy movie featured a young Tom Cruise and a villain named Darkness? Now, don't know whether you can see this, but it appears that YouTube are buffering this quiz. And it's disconnected the chat. Ugh. No, YouTube's... That's interesting. It's not allowing me to connect. Let me just click through and see what I can do. Right. Just... Okay, well, I'll continue with the quiz, but I can't get into... I've got no internet. Oh, hang on a second. Something in my household has fucking disconnected me. So I don't know how you're... Can you hear me, mother? Live chat is on. Let's have a look. Right. Oh, hang on. It's slowly reappearing. Oh, I say, we're back, I think. We're live. Be blowed. Right, okay. Where was I? I'm going to keep going because you're saying that it's all fine and you're there, but my computer, it's disconnected again. I'm rebooting the internet connection. It says it's connected. There's no chat. There's nothing. Right. Fingers crossed. Soul Rebel. It's that Ruddy Fire Stick. So it looks like the chat's back connected, and it looks like Soul Rebel, exactly that. Keith Mitchell, Darren Bradbury, we're all watching. Isn't it bizarre? You can, because this is through my phone, and it's not connected to the internet in the house. It's connected 5G via my phone. So you're on Windows 10. You bet that, Des, you've got it. And it's now connected. So let's start again. Question 51. Which band released The Wall in 1979? 52. Which character did George Clooney play in the TV series ER? Question 53. Which 1980s fantasy movie featured a young Tom Cruise and a villain named Darkness? And 54, which is where we got to before it all went awry. Who sang We Didn't Start the Fire in 1989? Thank you, Stuart. Question 54. Who sang We Didn't Start the Fire in 1989? 55. Which crime series starring Angela Lansbury aired from 1984 to 1996? Which crime series starring Angela Lansbury aired from 1984 to 1996? God, was it 12 years? Question 55. Question 56. What 1993 film starring Bill Murray as a man reliving the same day over and over? What was the name of the 1993 film starring Bill Murray as a man reliving the same day over and over? That's a great film. Question 57. Which rock band released the album A Night at the Opera? Which rock band released the album A Night at the Opera? 58. Who played the main character in the 1999 film The Matrix? 58. Who played the main character in the 1999 film The Matrix? 59. What 1984 song by Tina Turner includes the lyrics, "What's love got to do with it? Got to do with it." So what 1984 song by Tina Turner includes the lyrics, "What's love got to do with it?" Sandra Wytham says, "This is useless. Can hear you all the words." And question 60. So this is round 5. Which director created the films Jaws, E.T. and Jurassic Park? So we'll rattle through these. I'm not sure Sandra's able to hear all of the words. Were any questions needing repeating for anyone? And how did you do that round? There were some easier ones in there. Stuart says, it's a sign of a misspent youth, Stuart. I've found tonight that films are my strength. 6 out of 10. Andrew James got 8 again. Jackie Glasgow seems all good now. Thank you, Jackie. Alan, what was the last? Last one was, which director created the films Jaws, E.T. and Jurassic Park? So we'll go through round 5 and give you all of the answers. I hope you're totting up all your answers, so you know how many you've got completely. So this is question 51. Which band released The Wall in 1979? Pink Floyd. 52. Which character did George Clooney play in the TV series ER? I would never have known this in a month of Sundays. Doug Ross. 53. Which 1980s fantasy movie featured a young Tom Cruise and a villain named Darkness? The film Legend. 54. Who sang We Didn't Start the Fire in 1989? Great radio song. Billy Joel. 55. Which crime series starring Angela Lansbury aired from 1984 to 1996? Murder, She Wrote. 56. What 1993 film starred Bill Murray as a man reliving the same day over and over? It's Groundhog Day, of course. And 57. Which rock band released the album A Night at the Opera? Queen. And who played the main character in the 1999 film The Matrix? Keanu Reeves. Red pill, blue pill. What was the full moon, half moon, total eclipse? It's not a question on here, but literally that's where my mind went the minute I saw the who played the main character, Keanu Reeves, and I'm thinking full moon, half moon, total eclipse, Jaffa cakes. God knows why. Maybe I need some sustenance. Question 59. What 1984 song by Tina Turner includes the lyrics, "What's love got to do with it"? What's love got to do with it? And 60. Which director created the films Jaws, E.T. and Jurassic Park? It was, of course, because I gave you a question a little earlier, Steven Spielberg. So, don't know how many you've got so far, but if you're rocking and rolling, we've got rounds 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Where are we? River Deep, Mountain High. That was a great song by Tina Turner. Wasn't that one? No. What's love got to do with it? Sorry, Soul Rebel. So how are you doing? Oh, Tom Harney's got 9. You're wrong. Philippa Fraser. Wasn't this round 4? No. We did questions 51 to 60. So that's round 5. We're going to get into round 6 with the questions from 61 to 70. Karina Jane 6. Well done. The Old Bovril. Consistency. That's what the name of the game is. The Old Bovril. Des Ashton 8 out of 10. Brilliant. Right. Your wrong uns. Eyes down. This is round 6. Questions 61 to 70. Which 1970s band released the hit Go Your Own Way? Which 1970s band? I think they were formed in the 60s, but then they lost a member to LSD. And then they went on to, big album in the 70s. Which 1970s band released the hit Go Your Own Way? 62. What was the name of the coffee shop in the TV show Friends? What's the name of the coffee shop in the TV show Friends? That's question 62. Question 63. Which 1994 film starred Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman as inmates? There'll be loads of you getting this. Which 1994 film starred Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman as inmates? 64. Who sang Dancing Queen in 1976? Who sang Dancing Queen in 1976? That's question 64. 65. Nearly 1965. 65. Question 65. Which superhero movie in 1989 starred Michael Keaton? I think these Robin Williams questions are quite challenging. 66. Question 66. What 1995 fantasy film starred Robin Williams and featured a magical board game? Have you still got it? What 1995 fantasy film starring Robin Williams and featured a magical board game? Question 67. Who sang Tiny Dancer, a hit from the 70s? Question 67. Who sang Tiny Dancer, a hit from the 1970s? Question 68. The Old Bovril. Which one for a clue? The Old Bovril. We're into round 6. I might give you some clues. Tell me which question, the Old Bovril. Steaming along now, says Jackie Glasgow. Must have had too much Battenberg. I don't know which question you want a clue on, the Old Bovril. All of them, he says. Maybe next round, because we go into the hard questions next round. I might give some clues for the hard ones. Metaphorically, of course. 67, who sang Tiny Dancer? 68, which 1982 science fiction classic film starred Harrison Ford as Rick Deckard? That is brilliant. Ray Norton. His chin hit more balls than Steve Davis's Q-tip. Brilliant. Question 68 again. Which 1982 science fiction film classic starred Harrison Ford as Rick Deckard? And 2 more. 69. That'll be Lord Tucker of the 69. What boy band released the hit I Want It That Way? Just don't tell Hugh Edwards. What boy band released the hit I Want It That Way in 1999? And final question this round, round 6. Who played Forrest Gump in the 1994 film? I had to throw in an easy one for you. Who played Forrest Gump in the 1994 film? So, how do you think you've done there? My favourite movie, says Amalia. Which one's that? Oh, the science fiction. Yeah, great film. Great film. Right, how do you think you've done? Because I'm going to give you the answers from 61 to 70. Are you ready? Here's the answers. 61. Which 1970s band released the hit Go Your Own Way? Fleetwood Mac. 62. What's the name of the coffee shop in the TV show Friends? It's a great name. I don't know who came up with it. Central Perk. 63. Which night? Everybody's got this, surely. 1994 film starred Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman as inmates. It was The Shawshank Redemption. Long film. 64. Length is not a problem. 64. Who sang Dancing Queen in 1976? Well, of course it was ABBA. That palindrome, that well-known palindrome. ABBA. It's the same forwards as backwards. 1965. Question 65. The superhero movie in 1989 starring Michael Keaton. Batman. I see things you wouldn't believe. I know. It's a great movie, but I prefer the name of the movie that we're going to get to in question 68 to The Shawshank Redemption, because it was a bum number. I was sat there thinking, God, when's this going to end? And it was a bit over the top of my head at the time. So 65, the answer was Batman. 66, the 1995 fantasy film starring Robin Williams and featured a magical board game, Jumanji. 67, who sang Tiny Dancer? It was Elton John. I mean, well, I thought that was an easier one. 68, which 82 science fiction film classic starred Harrison Ford as Rick Deckard? Blade Runner. That is a film and a half. Question 69, what boy band released the hit I Want It That Way in 1999? The Backstreet Boys. And 70, who played Forrest Gump in the film? Tom Hanks. Has he just received a Presidential Freedom of the World medal yesterday, along with Hillary Clinton? How does that work? Because Bill got it from Obama, all the Democrats. So they are the answers from 61 to 70. How do you think you've done that round? Andrew James, flipping hell. 10 out of 10. Well, you're all doing very well. That was round 6. We've got 7, 8, 9, and 10. We've got 4 more to go. I was trying to time this so it would kind of fill the usual. How did Sandra do? 5. Good on you. Keep pounding on, Sandra. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Maybe we should do a 90s. We can do all kinds of quizzes. So, without me wittering on, let's get into round 7. These are hard, the next 30 questions. But then again, if you know the answer, they're not that hard, are they? So, question 71. And please keep a running total as to how many you got. 71. What was the name of David Bowie's character in the 1986 film Labyrinth? Can we do a Disney quiz? We can do all kinds of quizzes. Music one. I'll do a bits and pieces. Radio one's bits and pieces. 71. What was the name of David Bowie's character in the 1986 film Labyrinth? 72. Who hosted Soul Train from 1971 to 1993? Was it really 22 years? Wow. Who hosted Soul Train 1971 to 1993? 73. Which director made the 1980 film The Shining? Which director made the 1980 film The Shining? 74. What band released the 1992 album Automatic for the People? What band released the 1992 album Automatic for the People? And question 75. What is the name of the diner in Seinfeld? '75. What's the name of the diner in Seinfeld? Was it Seinfeld? Not Seinfeld. Question 76. Which 1997 film starred Nicolas Cage and John Travolta as adversaries who swap faces? Jackie Glasgow, just got to air fry a sausage. Oh, I say, Jackie, you're not going to cut it off first, are you? We'll keep an ear on the quiz. It's all just a bit of fun. 76. Which 1997 film, I've done that, starred Nicolas Cage and John Travolta as adversaries who swap faces? 77. What was the name of Freddie Mercury's final studio album with Queen? An Italian suppository. 77. What was the name of Freddie Mercury's final studio album with Queen? Very ill at that point. 78. Which 1981 film won Best Picture at the Academy Awards and features a story about Olympic athletes? The Brits are coming. As a clue. Jackie Glasgow's just gone to brown her sausage. It's a comedy opening. 79. Who sang Zombies? Sorry, apologies. Who sang Zombie in 1994? Oh my God, no, Jackie. And question 80. Which actor starred as Batman in Batman Returns in 1992? So which actor starred as Batman in Batman Returns in 1992? Getting slightly more challenging. How do you think you've done for that round? That's round 7. Amalia Grassy. Right, going to join the quiz now. Brilliant, Amalia. Right, here's the answers. Are you ready for them? You might get more than you actually realise. The name of David Bowie's character in Labyrinth was Jareth. Try saying that with a lisp. Jareth. 72. Who hosted Soul Train from 71 to 93? Don Cornelius. Bit of a legend. 73. Which director made the film The Shining? Stanley Kubrick. Masterpiece. Stanley Kubrick. Red Rum. Red Rum. No, not Casey Kasem. Although I've got some old American Top 40 featuring Casey Kasem, and it's on vinyl. I've got it somewhere in my archive. And he would sign some of them because they were sent out to radio stations around the world, and he would sign some of them. And actually, I got one signed by him, not for me, but it just disappeared. Yeah, Don Cornelius, correct. Stanley Kubrick made The Shining, and which band released Automatic for the People? Rapid Eye Movement. R.E.M. It's Johnny. Ooh, ooh. What's the name of the diner in Seinfeld? Terry Woodford. How do you spell it? R.E.M. You're wrong. Nicolas Cage and John Travolta were adversaries in Face Off. Face Off. '73 Grand National winner. R.E.M. Oh, sorry. We'll do the. I didn't do the diner in Seinfeld. It was Monks. And then 76, it was Face Off. Freddie Mercury's final studio album with Queen. Innuendo, that well-famous Italian suppository. And 78, who won Best Picture at the 1981 Oscars? About Olympic athletes. Chariots of Fire. And who sang Zombie in 94? It was the Cranberries. Michael Keaton starred as Batman in Batman Returns. And that is round 7 complete. If you need me to repeat any answers from any of the questions. How you doing? 7 this time, said Andrew James. Terry Wookfit. Dolores was a babe. Agreed, Terry. Alan, 3 out of 10. Casey Kasem, Man in a Suitcase. What a great voice, though. I mean, Casey Kasem's voice was legendary. Bovril. I'm sorry you didn't get any right answers. I should come round yours the next time I do it, and I'll give you all the answers. Tina Barwick says, going downhill fast, 3 out of 10. The old Bovril, 0. Oh. Lauren Taylor still hanging in there with 5 in the round. And Sandra Wytham up to 41. 41 out of 80. 50%. Not bad. So, should we get into round 8? Nearly there. We'll be finished in about 15, 20 minutes or so. Right. Eyes down. Question 81. What rock opera did The Who release in 1973? Name the rock opera that The Who released in 1973. Oh, this is a tough one. From, the Stanley Kubrick film, The Shining. What was the name of the hotel in The Shining? Question 83. The 92 Quentin Tarantino film. What was the name of the 1992 Quentin Tarantino film focusing on a group of jewel thieves? Question 84. Can you name the Elton John song famously used in The Lion King? Can you name the Elton John song that was famously used in The Lion King? Harder question, 85. What 1980s sitcom featured characters Bulky Bartokomous, I'm so glad I'm sober when I'm saying this, and Larry Appleton? The characters Bulky Bartokomous and Larry Appleton, they were the characters from which 1980s sitcom? Interesting question, I didn't know this. Question 86. Who directed the 1986 film Aliens? Who was the director of Aliens? Question 87. What is the full name of the title character in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? What is the full name of the title character in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Question 87. Question 88. Which singer-songwriter released the album Graceland in 1986? Which singer-songwriter released the album Graceland in 1986? Oh, Sandra, she's asking for bonus points for both characters. Question 85. Question 89. What 1999 horror film was presented as found footage? Give you that one again. Which 1999 horror film was presented as found footage? And question 90, last question for round 8. Who played Clarice Starling in The Silence of the Lambs? Bad Wolf Project, My Wedding Night. Do you need me to give you any more of the questions again? We're up to So we've got 10 more questions to go. Do you need any more? PT Ham 81. PT Ham 81. Which rock opera did The Who release in 1973? It's kind of their magnum opus, I think. 2 and 3. 82. What's the name of the hotel in The Shining? 83. Which 1992 Quentin Tarantino film focuses on a group of jewel thieves? Easy when you know, when you've got the answer in front of you. Any more? 5 again. It's probably my pronunciation, but which 1980s sitcom features characters Bulky Bartokomous and Larry Appleton? So here we go with the answers. The rock opera that The Who released in 73, Quadrophenia. Sting starred in it, and Leslie Ash. We shan't mention what Sting did to Leslie Ash up the alley. 82. What's the name of the hotel in The Shining? It was the Overlook Hotel. 83. Which 1992 Quentin Tarantino film focuses on a group of jewel thieves? The Reservoir Dogs. 84. The Elton John song used in The Lion King, Circle of Life. Keith Mitchell. What alley? The back alley, Keith. 85. The 1980 sitcom featuring Bulky Bartokomous and Larry Appleton, Perfect Strangers. Mark Star, stop trying to make me laugh, you're wrong. Who directed Aliens? It was James Cameron. That's question 86. Who directed the 1986 film Aliens? It's James Cameron. What is the full name of the title character in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Ferris Bueller. No, I've not heard of Perfect Strangers either. 88. Which singer-songwriter released the album Graceland in 1986? Paul Simon. Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes. Remember that? That was a big single at the time. 86. Had to play it on the radio. I wasn't a fan. But then again, we weren't allowed to say, oh, that's shite, man. But it was amazing how loads of people liked the album and Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes. Never a fan. Question 89. What 1999 horror film was presented as found footage? The Blair Witch Project. And who played Clarice Starling in The Silence of the Lambs? Jodie Foster. Well, I never. Well, she wouldn't. So how you doing? I only like the title song. I'm with you, Jackie. No need to slag off Tony's wife, Terry. 50 Ways to Leave Your Blubber, Martin G. So we have one more round of 10 questions. Some of these are quite easy. So if you're ready... Nicky Watson says, one again. Started well, going down. Steady, Nicky. So, right. Let's give it the final round. Question 91. Which band released the 1976 song Carry On Wayward Son? Great rock song. Which band released the 1976 song Carry On Wayward Son? And I'll give you a couple of seconds while you're playing that in your head, trying to work out who it was. The hibiscus is now the same temperature as the Jaeger bomb. Cheers to it. Question 92. What 1978 sitcom featured Robin Williams as an alien named Mork? Mork calling Orson. Which 1978 sitcom featured Robin Williams as an alien named Mork? 1993. Sorry, I keep saying that. Question 93. Hang on. Oh, in the fields complaining now. What happened to the clue? Okay. Question 91. Which band released the 1976 song Carry On Wayward Son? It's a place in America. What 78 sitcom featuring Robin Williams as an alien named Mork? Mork and... Question 93. Which 1984 mockumentary follows a fictional rock band on tour? A fabulous film. Let's turn it up to 11. And if we need a little model of Stonehenge, remember that, where it came down from the roof? It was like that big. Which 1984 mockumentary follows a fictional rock band on tour? You've definitely got that tapped. What 1998 Coen Brothers film featured the Dude? Size Queen. What 1998 Coen Brothers film featured the Dude? It's Jackie Glasgow's era. I think she's eating the sausage, so she's got herself some brain fuel. 95. What 1991 film features a Terminator who says, "Hasta la vista, baby"? Question 95. The 91 film features a Terminator who says, "Hasta la vista, baby." And 96. Which singer-songwriter recorded American Pie in 1971? Oh, my, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Which singer-songwriter recorded American Pie in 71? I can't make this any more easy for you. 97. What was the name of the ship in Star Trek? What was the name of the ship in Star Trek? What 1988 film starred Eddie Murphy as an African prince in New York? You're either going to know this one or not. Oh, Jackie Glasgow. Yes, and I had many a whiskey and rye. Did you drive your Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry, Jackie? What 1988 film starred Eddie Murphy as an African prince in New York? 2 more questions to go. 99. Which 1995 song by Coolio, he's dead now, was featured in the movie Dangerous Minds? I'm trying to remember the actress that was the teacher in Dangerous Minds. I can see her. Can't remember her name. Super Ted says it was a class song. Which one was that? American Pie. 99. Which 1995 song by Coolio was featured in the movie Dangerous Minds? And finally, question 100. Michelle Pfeiffer. Thank you, moderator. Question 100. What 1977 science fiction film became the first blockbuster hit? Jackie Glasgow's not got that. She's just not hearing it. When I tell you, because it used a classical piece of music, did Coolio's song. I won't sing it to you. I promise I won't sing it to you. So, how do you think you've done that round? A couple of easy ones or easier ones. Heading for 10 out of 10 until that Coolio song, says Keith. The Bad Wolf Project. What weight £10 and... Oh, sorry. What weighs £10 and didn't get plucked at Christmas? John Denver's guitar. So we'll go to any questions you want repeating. Oh, wow. Orokida, 7. Manda Sky, 7. Johnny Ray, 8. Bloody hell. Jackie Glasky, no idea. I think the sausage has gone to your head, Jackie. Nicky Watson, maybe 6. I think the next quiz we do will make it slightly easier. But if you don't want any more, then I will give you from 91 to 100. Which band released the 1976 song Carry On Wayward Son? Kansas? 92. What 78 sitcom featured Robin Williams as an alien called Mork? Mork and Mindy. Hang on. Who said that? Orokida, I only have 90 questions. You've missed a round. Maybe the buffering. Which 84 mockumentary follows a fictional rock band on tour? Remember, this is Spinal Tap. 94. The 98 Coen Brothers film features the dude. It was the Big Lebowski. The 1991 film features a Terminator who says, "Hasta la vista, baby." Now, that was Terminator 2. Exactly, that's got it. Which singer-songwriter recorded American Pie in 71? Don McLean. It's McLean. Scottish pronunciation rather than McLean. It's Don McLean. 97, what was the name of the ship in Star Trek? Enterprise. Oh, Janice Morrison. Well, I've done them in chronological order, so I'm not quite sure what's happened. Where are we? Enterprise. The Eddie Murphy 1998 film about an African prince in New York coming to America. Did that have James Brown as a theme tune, Coming to America? Anyway, if you want the Coolio song that featured in the movie Dangerous Mind, Gangster's Paradise, and used a classical piece of music, which I can't remember for the moment. And finally, what 1977 science fiction film became the first blockbuster hit? Star Wars. So that's your 100 questions and 100 answers. As I said at the beginning, thank you to everyone that's indulged this evening. Simply because I can keep going with all the usual stuff, but I felt that after 2 weeks of wine and song and food, you might want an easier night rather than us get stuck into the really weighty and heavy stuff. I know that Starmer is possibly going to give a speech outside of number 10, because they've all decided to do exactly the same thing, haven't they? Where Rich Boy gets absolutely razzed on by God outside of number 10. But have you not thought about why Keir Starmer's not actually Des Ashton, 89 out of 100? Utter wrong. Martin G. Starmer can fox for Oscar. I hope he does. He's going to cling on. Back to Star Trek again. He's going to cling on because he wants the power. He's not going to. So how did you do? What's your overall score? Tom Harney says got 74, which is a very good score. Des Ashton's obviously a brain box because he got 89. Jackie Glasgow, loved it. Brilliant evening. It's like having a pool quiz, PDM. Good to keep the old brain ticking over. And Alison got 55 out of 90, as they only got 90 questions, but enjoyed it. What can I say? It was just a bit of fun, just to ease our way into everybody going back to work tomorrow. And I am going to be hard at work tomorrow because I've got loads of videos that I want to do. And for those that may be new to the channel, we are being consistent now. You're getting stuff every single day. Although I am going away for a very, I'm so excited by it. You know that I love the Templars and doing Templar stuff and finding stuff out about the Templars. Got books and books and books. And the First Lady of the Kirk has, for part of my Christmas present, she's organised a week in Malta. So if you don't know about the Templars became the Knights Hospitaller, and then the Knights Hospitaller became the Knights Malta. So I'm going to go and I'll make videos while I'm there and let you know how things go. Nikki Watson got 39 but missed 10 answers and 10 questions. How to sort dinner. Thanks, Adrian. Enjoyed it. Nikki, you're most welcome. Hope you enjoyed dinner too. Amalia Grassi, I'm going to do this quiz straight after. Bless you, Amalia. So you've got all the bloody answers. Yeah, utter wrong. Janice Morrison, really enjoyed that tonight. Yeah, well, we had easily over 200 people watching, but I think some kind of gave up on it. But the next time we do a quiz, now that we know what's what, we will definitely make some of the answers funnier and easier, because I was hoping some people would get up into the 60s or the 70s out of 100. Because I know it's a feeling of accomplishment. But everybody that took part tonight, thank you. Hang on, the Old Bovril, bottom of the class with 21, never bottom of the class, the Old Bovril. You're a valuable member of the body of the Kirk. So I hope you enjoyed it. Max Watch 216, 18 booted out for acting like arses. Yeah, I think people didn't expect it, and those regulars, well, we'll be regular next Sunday. We'll do the same stuff, but every now and again, because I think we have a good audience now, and I think that we'll do this and we'll do other stuff. I mean, I was going to do a premiere today, but had to do some family stuff. But I'll be doing some premieres over the next week or so, and just want to keep you on your toes. That's all. Peter Sadler got 70. Not bad. I've suffered a minor stroke. Blimey, Peter. Well done. The Old Bovril enjoyed it. Thank you, the Old Bovril. Always good. Enjoy Malta. You will find the Knights Hospitaller were around at the same time as the Templars. They absorbed some of the Templars' set up. Yeah, I agree. But the Knights Hospitaller have a hospital in Jerusalem that I tried to go to a few years ago when I was in Israel, and never got the chance. Just time ran away. But I have a very intriguing take on the Knights Templar. I believe they're still around. I don't mean the current order. I mean the order of the Templars in the 11th and 12th and 13th century. They were around for over 200 years. And was it King Philip of France? They tried to do them for all the money he owed them, and then there was some dodgy pope. But they went and hid. I believe they're in Switzerland. I think the banking system in Switzerland is Templar, as is the city of London, in London. Because there's stuff in London, and I've been down there to see stuff. But I just enjoy the history. If I was to do a history degree, I would do my dissertation on the Templars. Absolutely, categorically. And I've been like Sicily, had Templars in there, and I've been to Sicily a few times where I've uncovered Templar stuff, the Cross of Jerusalem, just randomly. I've been to Caesarea in Israel, and Acre, which is a Templar stronghold. And in Caesarea, they're uncovering stuff that has Templar crosses on temple stones that they're just uncovering now. So Malta is kind of Templar central. Well, Templar, Hospitaller, and then Knights Malta central. So that's in a few weeks, end of January, for my birthday. So we will do more stuff like this. We will do more quizzes at some point in the year, because I think a lot of people have enjoyed it. I will make it easy though. Keith Mitchell, I knew I was in the right place. Hang on. The Bad Wolf Project, La Rochelle, France, is full of Templar stuff. Oh, right, okay. Thank you, Bad Wolf Project. Lionel Layton says, I've got Maltese relatives. Never been there. Oh, you should. I mean, when we're going, January, it's going to be freezing here, and it's going to be beautifully balmy 18 and 19 degrees. So never been to Malta. Looking forward to it. Like, I'm excited beyond reason. And but thank you for the quiz tonight. Thank you to the Scarlet Pimpernel, who put some of the questions together. Put all the questions together. And really appreciate that. Hope you've enjoyed it. More stuff coming in the morning. I've got to have an early night to get up and sort it all out in the morning. Kind of like Cyprus is NATO Central Medical Section. Yep. I will tell you all about it, and I will, like when we went on honeymoon, I did the Machu Picchu. I did the live, which has never been done. I am absolutely, positively sure there's never, ever been a live from Machu Picchu. So we did the live, and I'll do some stuff from Malta when I get there. But we are working on making sure that you get new stuff, new videos, new interesting things consistently every single day now. It's turning into my full-time job. So thank you to everyone that was part of the quiz this evening. Indulged me, took part in it, and it was just a bit of fun. PT Ham, thank you. And Amalia Grassi's going to get 100 out of 100 because she's going to do the quiz now. And everybody, for all your very kind words. Sorry about the buffering. We will eventually get that sorted, hopefully before Wednesday's live. The next live is Wednesday. And all those legendary Battenbergers that supported the channel this evening, I will make sure that you're first and given legendary Battenberger status on Wednesday. Thank you to all that took part. And thank you to the Scarlet Pimpernel. And I shall see you for a live on Wednesday at 8 o'clock, of course. And watch out for Starmer tomorrow. Watch out. He's up to something. And I think there's a big trial that starts tomorrow. But as ever, I'll keep on top of it. And if there's any news, I'll let you have it. And the news. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all, especially this evening, your indulgence. See you for the next live on Wednesday. See you for more videos first thing in the morning. Au revoir, mon ami.